Thank you all for being here today and joining us for the kickoff and launch of the 2024 Summer Youth Employment Program. I wanted to first express my gratitude for all of you for being here today, in particular the Office of Youth Employment and Opportunity, and the mayor and her entire staff. Thank you guys for making it out here. Our schools, our fellow youth employers like ABCD, the Boston Private Industry Council, John Hancock MLK Scholars, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Boston, the YMCA, I can keep going. You are all here and I love seeing the crowd. And of course our corporate partners as well, for whom you guys really support a lot of the work that we all do together. We are so honored to be hosting this group today. For anyone who's unfamiliar with Artists for Humanity, which is the space you're in now, we have a proud history of 33 years of teen employment. We have long believed in the power of harnessing mentorship to inspire teens through creative and paid professional experiences. The emphasis on paid. But many things have changed since AFH's origins, including some new challenges that we continue to wrestle with post-pandemic. But we are thankful that we were able to tackle those challenges together. We've also experienced many positive changes in Boston, including the first elected mayor of Boston, who is a woman of color. This feels particularly timely because it is, after all, Women's History Month, to acknowledge that. And even though Mayor Michelle Wu has never met my parents before, they are just as proud of her as they are of any of their children. It is only through this dedicated community of government, civic, nonprofit, school leaders, and most importantly, our talented teens and youth that we are going to achieve record employment. In this year's Mayor's State of the City address, she threw down a challenge to say every BPS student who is looking for a job will get one this summer. Are you ready? Yeah, we are. I'm excited to pass the mic to Deputy Chief of Worker Empowerment, Rashad Cope.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful venue, isn't it? Thank you, Anna and Artists for Humanity team. Give them a round of applause again, please. Thank you all for gathering here as we embark on another really, really exciting year of Boston Summer Youth Employment Program. I will keep my remarks very brief so we can just hear from our esteemed guests here and our stellar young people. Again, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to Anna and the entire Artists for Humanities team for graciously hosting us today, their steadfast partnership in providing youth employment opportunities that blend passion, creativity, and career training for our young people. Many know that Artists for Humanities has been a true trailblazer in the arts sector, and we are grateful for their continued dedication to empowering our young people. Since the 1990s, Boston's Youth Jobs Program has set a national standard for excellence. Just over a week ago, I had the privilege of attending the National Youth Employment Coalition Forum alongside a colleague from Northeastern University, Lynn Sanders, who is with us today, who is from our research partner, Northeastern University. Together, Lynn and I, we had an opportunity to showcase the collaborative efforts between city government and the higher education institution here in Boston in advancing youth opportunities and equity here in our city. This wouldn't be possible without the unwavering commitment and investment from our mayor and her administration, who have made elevating and prioritizing this work a top priority. Boston continues to lead the way in summer youth employment programming, garnering significant interest from other cities and towns who are eager to emulate our successful program. Our mayor has been truly instrumental in championing initiatives that bridge the gap and ensure young people in our city have access to meaningful employment opportunities this summer. I want to express our gratitude again to our extensive network of employer partners, including the Boston Private Industry Council, Neil Sullivan and their team, ABCD, Ron and his team, MLK Scholars, Annie and her team, YMCA, David and their team, Boys and Girls Club of Boston, Shiona and their team, Boston Public Schools, our city agencies, and all others for their dedication to supporting our young people. And a really special thank you going into this summer is due to Citizens Bank, M&T Bank, and Metro Credit Union for their generous support in providing innovative access to bank accounts for our young people who are participating in our Youth Jobs program this summer. So their efforts in expanding financial education and fostering financial literacy this summer is truly invaluable. And thank you, Constance, and the team over at the Work Empowerment Cabinet for leading that charge to bring the banks on board this summer. Lastly, we have continued to work tirelessly here in the city to build coalitions across providers with the goal of strengthening coordination and alignment. And ultimately, that has led to continuing to expand job opportunities for our youth. This collaborative approach, our commitment, it really underscores our commitment to ensuring that every young person in the city of Boston has an opportunity to thrive. So thank you all here for the work that you do in supporting the City of Boston's Youth Jobs programming. Thank you for your dedication and support. Together, I'm pretty sure that we will continue to make a positive impact on the lives of Boston's young people today. So thank you. Now I'll turn over to our amazing mayor, Mayor Michelle Wu.
Thank you so much, Rashad, for all that you do for our city, for all that you have put in to make this program bigger than ever, and what we know will be a huge success, and we're so grateful for your leadership. Thank you to Anna for hosting us here. I walked in and I said, I'm back home. We were just here for the City of Boston's first in almost 20 years Youth Summit, which took over just about every nook and cranny of the building here with workshops and community building and creative stations of all different types. A keynote by Cousin Stiz, who came home and inspired so many of us, and it was a natural place to be because you all represent and embody what the vision that we see for our young people and for community to come together. So thank you for hosting us once again. I'm really excited to be joined by, you'll hear shortly from Allison Verneret from our Office of Youth Employment and Opportunity, the director of that office, as well as Superintendent Mary Skipper. Thank you again to our speakers who already went, and you will hear from the most important speakers today in a little bit, Dion and Jamie, who will share their perspectives as alums of this program. We are all here in this room, all of the incredible partners from the community and nonprofit sector, from higher ed, from corporate sector, from long-standing partners who've been doing this for a long time. We're here because we believe Boston can and should be the best city on earth for young people, and that we all benefit when we live up to that vision. That can't happen from any sector or any level of government alone. And so today is about collaboration to take one of the most successful programs in the country when it comes to youth summer jobs and take it to the next level. In order to do everything that we can for our young people to step into the leadership roles that they are ready for, we need the whole village to step up around them. So just some of our collaborators who have been instrumental in this effort today include ABCD, the Boston Private Industry Council, John Hancock, Citizens, and all of our bank partners, all of our higher education spaces, RCC, and all of our universities, and of course our nonprofits like AFH. I know we say this a lot, but today we're celebrating a truly unprecedented investment in youth summer jobs here in Boston. We've been proud, as you heard, for more than 30 years to run one of the most effective and well-known youth summer jobs programs in the country. But I remember when I was serving on the city council years ago, every year around budget time, we would see community members come in advocating to do more. And for many, many years, the number of summer jobs that could be funded through the city budget was stuck, somewhere around 2,000, 3,000 jobs. The Private Industry Council provided so much partnership to try to add to that number. City departments created jobs, but for many years we were at a certain level. In the course of our new administration, we doubled that number and wanted to make sure that through the city budget we were funding more jobs than ever before. But what we realized was that even when the jobs were there, they weren't all getting filled. And it was, when we asked young people why, some of it was the process was incredibly complicated, getting through all the paperwork, all the verification, having to go to different locations just to be able to start earning your paycheck. And the other feedback that we heard often was, we want the good jobs. We want the jobs at places that inspire your passion, that open up new doors and show you what's possible in our city. And I'm so proud that today we're announcing a revamped youth summer jobs program that not only lifts the cap completely for our Boston Public School students, any BPS student who is ready and interested in a job, we will make sure you have a paid summer opportunity and at more options than ever before, because our young people should be reflected in every boardroom, in every laboratory, in every space where important decisions are made in Boston. So last year, we exceeded previous year's records by nearly 3,000 jobs. We ended up hiring nearly 10,000 young people into positions from youth summer assistants at the Boys and Girls Club, lifeguards at BCYF community centers and the YMCA, to healthcare interns at Brigham and Women's, and data interns at Liberty Mutual Insurance. This year, we are going even further. Our goal isn't just to announce bigger and bigger numbers. It's to finally tap into all of the unbelievable talent, the incredible resources, and world-leading institutions in this city that we call home, to equip our young people with the skills they need to succeed in careers that challenge and fulfill them. Thanks to our incredible research partners at Northeastern, we have the numbers and know what works. The data shows clearly that summer jobs increase high school graduation rates, decrease the likelihood of involvement with the court system, and boost future employment opportunities. I know they're summer jobs, but the reality is that the impact lasts a lifetime. So to make it as easy as possible for young people and their families to access the thousands of opportunities that our partners will be offering this summer, we're thrilled to announce that this year, all of our summer job opportunities, that means SuccessLink, MLK Scholars, ABCD Summer Works, private sector internships, including those at the Private Industries Council, all of those opportunities will be available in one place on our Future Boss website. That's Future BOS. And the website itself is boston.gov/futurebos. Before I hand it off to Allison to say a little bit more about this platform and the partnerships that made it possible. I want to once again thank all of the employers that have stepped up to invest in the future of our city. And to all those who have not yet stepped up, we are ready for you. To any organization that hasn't yet signed up to participate in this life-changing, city-changing program, we would love to get you involved right away. We have the greatest talent in the world right here in our city, and this is an opportunity for you to build out your talent pipeline and make it a long-term investment in your company's workforce. Most importantly, it's an opportunity to get to know the incredible young people who are leading our city now and who will certainly be leading in the years to come. And to all of our students across Boston, applications are now open. And so whether you want to work in our parks, in science labs, finance, college admissions, the arts, or at City Hall, there are thousands of jobs that are looking for people just like you this summer. So we want to make sure that Boston's summer jobs program isn't just about a paycheck. Certainly that is an important requirement for our young people who are taking on such fundamental responsibilities for their families. But we want your summer to be about passion and purpose and professional development, about community building and connection. Our young people belong in every space in our city, and I want to thank everyone who's making that possible.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here today with all of you to launch what will be an exciting summer youth employment season, as you've heard. This one promises to be even better than before, as under our great mayor's leadership, we are officially launching the Mayor's Youth Job Guarantee, an increased commitment to young people that guarantees a summer job to every eligible BPS student who wants one. This reinforced commitment to Boston's youth employment is no accident. As our mayor mentioned, it stems from the amazing impact we know a job has on our community's youth. It's not just a job. Thanks to our research partners at Northeastern, we know that being engaged in a summer job will mean increased high school graduation rates, reduced criminal justice involvement, boost in future employment, but also money that goes directly towards paying household bills right now. It may sound too good to be true, but we actually have all the data to prove it, and we're really excited to move it forward. Our team has been working really hard to prepare for this increased commitment for today and for the months to come. And we've got a lot of very concrete things we're doing to share with you. So let me dive right in. The first one is to make this guarantee and increased commitment possible. We are taking great steps forward to bring our ecosystem of employers closer than ever before, and providing youth with a one-stop shop to start their employment journey, and they can find all the resources to complete it. Today, we are launching Future Boss, the constituent-facing brand and overarching umbrella for our youth employment opportunities and supports. Our Future Boss webpage, as the mayor said, that's futureboss.boston.gov/futurebossbos, has an extensive work opportunities catalog that is live today with ways where youth can filter by neighborhood, they can filter by age, they can filter by their interest, and anything they might want to be looking at when they are searching for a job. They can browse in one place thousands of opportunities for over 200 employer partners, from service-driven roles in nonprofit and local governments to internships in businesses and healthcare, retail and restaurant jobs, and learn and earn class programs. As we mentioned, that's all paid. That includes, but is not limited to, all the opportunities from our beloved and well-known SuccessLink program. All of them are available to apply right now, today. But it's not just about seeing a job. It's also about getting the support you need as you're applying and onboarding to it. So with Future Boss, youth and their families are also going to be able to find step-by-step guides and detailed FAQs that can help them through an onboarding process that can sometimes feel a little bit daunting. With Future Boss, we're really putting youth at the center and making it clearer and easier for them to benefit from summer employment. That was the first big thing. The second one, and speaking of putting youth at the center of what we do, None of this would be possible without the great partnership and collaboration of the Boston Public Schools. We're so thankful to have the superintendent here, but also a lot of other BPS members here today. This spring, we have been piloting an application and onboarding workshops across 3 schools and maybe more to come, giving 9th and 10th graders the skills and the support that they need to navigate the application and onboarding process. As we get youth engaged, we're also particularly looking forward to our Youth Jobs and Resource Fair. That's happening this Saturday at the Reggie Lewis Center all day, so really excited for that. We expect over 2,000 young people to come and interact with over 100 employers as well as many resource partners focused on getting young people all they need. They've been mentioned already, but I want to reiterate a special thanks to Citizens Bank, Metro Credit Union, and M&T Bank, who are all here today, for stepping up to provide youth with specific banking support and options that they need in this process. Third, and the last key thing that I'll share, is that it really takes an entire city to make sure our young people are set up with the opportunities that they deserve. To that extent, we're also launching today the Future Boss Pledge, an invitation to private sector companies, from finance and healthcare to retail and small businesses, to step in and become a part of our youth employment ecosystem. Some of you are already deeply involved in that work with us, and we thank you for that. John Hancock, Liberty Mutual, the Brigham, and many others come to mind. And of course, a special thank you to our dear friends at the Private Industry Council for being the private sector rallying force for so many years. For those who may not be involved yet, as the mayor mentioned, we really invite you to come in. Don't be shy. We're excited to have you. You can find all the details and take the pledge to welcome youth employees this summer at boston.gov/futureboss-pledge. That's once again BOSS, B-O-S. We're going with the double meaning there. This is going to be an opportunity for all of you to join this great team and the highly rewarding work of supporting Boston's youth employment. Lastly, speaking of great team, none of this would be possible without the gigantic team effort that goes on behind the scenes. So I have to give a few more thank yous. Some of them are repeats, some of them are new. You just have to bear with me. I am really personally, and I know my whole team is grateful for all of our ecosystem partners who have continued to commit day in and day out to providing the best possible opportunities for Boston's youth. They've been mentioned, but the ABCD, the PIC, the MLK Scholars Program, YouthWorks, the Boys and Girls Clubs, the Y, the Boston Higher Ed Consortium, of course our host AFH, and so many others that are helping us. We're so thankful for you. I'm particularly thankful to our research partners at Northeastern and Dr. Alicia Modestino here today for the commitment they've had for years to measure the impact of our youth employment programs, in addition to being employers themselves. They're doing both. A renewed thanks to all the BPS teams and individuals who find the time to get the word out for what we do, to give us feedback and partner with us at all levels at the schools. I'm also thankful to a lot of other internal teams at the City of Boston who stepped up to set us up for a great youth employment season. To the 75 city agencies who will be welcoming youth at their work sites this summer and initiating them to public service. To the OHR, DO-IT, and budget team members who put so much effort into making sure we are set up and launch our application on time, have the budget to go behind it, and are ready to go. To so many people at the mayor's office who have rolled up their sleeves with us to get ready for this launch. To the Equity Cabinets, the Office of Youth Engagement and Advancement, and the Immigrant Advancement Office for their support in this effort, allowing us to truly serve all the youth of Boston. To all the great members of our Workforce Empowerment Cabinet, under the leadership of our Chief Trina Nguyen, and with the support of our Deputy Chief for Youth Employment, and also my dear predecessor, Rashad Cope. Thank you. And last but not least, I want to thank, and they're all across the room, I want to thank our team at the Office of Youth Employment and Opportunity for everything that they do. They work tirelessly so that I can step here today and have a lot to share with you. But more importantly, they work tirelessly so that Boston's youth are all given the opportunity of a fulfilling work experience. So thanks to all of you. My final words go out to all Boston's youth. We are ready. We are here for you. Go to boston.gov/futureboss, BOS, and let your work begin. Thank you. I will now have the honor to pass it to our key speakers today, who are our youth and alums of our programs.
Hello everyone, my name is Jamie and I'm really thankful that you guys came here today to listen to my experience as an AFH team participant. My journey with youth employment started back in 2020. I was 16 at the time and I was looking for my first job, and I happened to hear about Artists for Humanity just from fellow kids in my school who they worked here and they seemed to really like it. So I came to check it out. I still remember my first time in this space, being surrounded by artists from so many different mediums, from video to photography to painting to 3D. It was so different from anything I had seen before, especially with jobs like being a barista or serving. I just felt like this was the place for me, and it had the energy that I was looking for. So safe to say, I filled out an application and I got an interview, and then that summer I started with actually our youngest studio, Creative Technology, and I was a founding member. So that first summer was really transformative for me. I basically went from zero to hero. I didn't know how to code the second I stepped in here. I'd never touched a computer, I'd never opened a file. And by the end, I had made a portfolio website displaying myself and my work. I had worked with a group of teenagers making my first video game. And it was really transformative for me because I had never really learned a skill like that outside of the traditional school setting. I, for the first time, realized that I could learn anything and do anything if I had the right people around me and I had the right community. And that was really great. I just can't even express in words how thankful I am for that opportunity. I loved my first summer so much, I ended up staying here at AFH for 2 more years, so the remainder of my high school experience. By then, I had worked with clients, I had learned to market myself outside of this studio as a freelance developer, and I was confident as a high school graduate to go out and do jobs on my own. I feel like a lot of people don't get that, at least until you get a degree and you kind of have that piece of paper. I had work experience of 2 years, and I was able to utilize that in the real world and make real money. After those 2 years, I never really felt like my journey was complete with AFH. I came back here as an assistant mentor to continue the vision, continue the mission of AFH in empowering and employing the youth of Boston. And I feel like I'm an embodiment of that vision and what you guys are all working towards today. I'm hearing about all these great opportunities, and I wish I had these when I was applying as a teenager, and I'm so thankful that this community is working hard to empower the youth of our city. So, thank you guys so much.
How y'all doing today? Everybody good? Can I get some more energy up? Like, what's going on? This is a big deal. Come on. I just want to give formal introductions, first of all, to Miss Lou and her staff. Happy to be back home with us. Now that means that you have to come and stay and eat with us and do everything. Thankful to everyone that's here, that's coming to watch kids get their lives changed and be able to have liberation to talk about these things. My name is Dion McKinley, and this is a conversation about my revelation. My pops always told me that if hooping ain't your job no more, then you got to go to work. A teen whose strings from his shoes were left on the court many scores ago. And for months up to this point, I was in the midst of an attempt of being an angelic hood rat. You know, teens, they need sort of structure to format bits of their chaos into direction. But chaos denies us from any of that structure. And that was my claim to fame for months. Until an art teacher seen the few attempts of me jousting my pencil and seen that destiny was brewing. Sent me to an institution of teens sword fighting with pages for wages. I stood in the way of deer in headlights. Artists for Humanity, for sure, my death certificate. Sweating, pacing, nervous, never knowing what's to come. My aura screamed incompetent, but yet all it took was a look from a mentor across the room to come over and say, chill, Dion, chill, be easy. All you gotta do here is use your pencil as a sword, your paintbrush as a shield, your words as a spear, and I swear you'll be just fine here. And so I did. What started off with 9 hours a week turned into casually sweeping over weeks and weeks of a newfound obsession. And I stand here 6 years later with a smile. Dion McKinley, a job that gave me more than a title, an artist, a collaborator with Noble, a documentary with Pro-Black. But in fact, these accolades that I display are just smear stains to the pages that my name lays in, for sure. But in fact, these accolades that I display, I never thought I would even be able to grasp until I use a pencil as a sword, my paintbrush as my shield, my words as a spear. See, these jobs you receive as an adolescent isn't about pay stubs or wages, filing papers or busting tables, nah. It's about basket weaving the basket of armor to moving your purpose. The few that the few in this fire know too true. So whenever these kids see shots fired or shots fired, calls dropping as they're trying to call the cops who are screaming freeze in their neighborhoods that breed these pups, they can do the same thing that happened to me. Close your eyes, look to the ground and scream, my pencil is a sword, my paintbrush is a shield, my word is a spear. This is my liberation. Thank y'all.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. So, any questions from the media for anyone up here? Dan, I'm going to bring with me to every press conference so the media won't ask me any questions afterwards.
Really, the summer went how well this job program. Would you agree with that same sentiment?
Can you say the last part again?
The summer in the city went as well as this job program.
Yeah, and I want to, I'm going to bring the superintendent up here as well because there's also a very clear educational component as we're thinking about this. When we think about our young people, I see leadership, potential, brilliance. That is not often the narrative that so many of our schools and our neighborhoods of young people are talked about with. And so it is absolutely true that we know what happens in our neighborhoods, the sense of safety and peace and community is directly related to the investments that we're making in those communities and in our young people. I don't think it's a coincidence that over the last 2 summers, as our summer job numbers hit new record heights, the number of incidents related to violence and public safety hit new record lows. Now, there's a lot that goes into that. And so, again, I think it's really important to disassociate the narrative of if not this, then this. But it just goes to show the more that we are investing in youth, the ripple effects go out to every other part of our community. How our small businesses do, how every generation with our city feels connected, the sense of community across the entire city, not just neighborhood by neighborhood. So I am really proud to see this investment not only as a line item into a certain number of young people. It's an investment in our education system. It's an investment in the livelihood of our economy. And it's an investment in the strength of our future across the entire city. But I'll bring up the superintendent to add more.
So I think Dion actually answered part of the question when he gave us images of chaos and structure for young people. And he talked about purpose and passion and truth. And I think that the way I would say is that it's not just the summer. It's all year long what we do. And in the summer, it's the city and the district working in partnership with all of the partners that are in here and out there listening to make sure we're wrapping arms around our youth and giving them the structure that Dion talked about, giving them the opportunities to see themselves and to connect and to find their purpose and to find their passion. And that is in different forms at the high school level. To me, the summer jobs coming from the high school world is an essential component for young people. When we say early college and career connection, we mean the and, because this is the opportunity for students to do exactly what Dion spoke about. I think with the younger students, it is giving them the structures and scaffolding and building toward that. And so we've been very intentional with the mayor's support, the city's support, to engage the partners in our city, our nonprofits, our community-based, to make the summer bigger and better each year and to get the word out. I also think, yesterday, I often say that, but I feel so blessed to have our mayor, because yesterday, we stood and announced a significant investment of the city under her leadership for behavioral health and mental health support. That's a key component of the summer. When kids leave us, their struggles don't go away. In fact, sometimes they get worse. And so having those resources over the summer and a mayor that has the vision to bring that to bear is so critical. What I loved about your words and your imagery was that if there's anyone sitting on the sideline, you got to get off. This is the best city in America. We have the best mayor. And this is an opportunity to get involved. Not sit on the sideline and complain, not sit on the sideline and criticize, but get involved. And we have in this room businesses and community orgs who are doing that and leading by example. So for everybody else, future boss, future boss. That's what this is about, because we want every student, like Dion and Jamie, to get up and give that testimony.
I just want to add on, kind of back to what she said. Structure is one of the most important things that, as youth, that we need, especially in this city. I grew up, I was blessed to have wonderful parents who have given me the guidance to, even in bits of me trying to run away from said structure, to ground myself. But a lot of these kids that I grew up with, a lot of my friends, family, they've all have been put in places where when we were at teens, the idea of a job for some of these kids just didn't seem regular. Their jobs were things that they did their family seen to get by to make extra change, which was always leading to things such as cops or like the court system. But an opportunity like this that I'm hearing about is revolutionary for us because, this city that is so profound in things like new growth in art and science and learning things like math and understanding these grounding fundamental tools to grow up, it's so essential for us to have these different forms of structures so that these kids not only grow and learn basic skills, but these are roots for their gardens that they're going to grow and then pass on to other people. My favorite sentiment is Rob Gibbs gave to me one time was why he mentors kids is that he climbed the mountain, but he wants to see us on that same mountain. So he'll climb up to come down halfway and meet us there. So we got to do the same thing for these kids. We got to pass that baton because there's going to be another 21-year-old that wants to give a speech about this. So we don't want to have this same conversation and make it more almost like this is what it is. I don't want to come back 20 years later and see that we're still trying. It should be, it's done. Because these are things that these kids deserve. They deserve an opportunity to see success in any other way. No matter where they come from, no matter what grounds they grow on, it's all seeds to root into a big garden. That's it.
I just wanted to emphasize your point about early college and career support. I think with this opportunity in youth employment, we have a space where we can have our kids set down their roots in a place that they're comfortable, where they can learn and grow and take that messaging and take that confidence out into the real world. And then you not only are producing a productive and inspired youth, but a productive and inspired workforce going forward. So it's all just turning the wheel of the life and who we're going to support and how we're going to do it and make our city great.
I guess to summarize, what we're trying to say here today is that it's not anymore just so goes the summer, goes the year. So goes our youth summer jobs program, goes our future. And that's really why we call it what we call it, Future Boss. In today's economy, when everything is so flexible and fluid and cities everywhere are competing, companies and employers are competing for being the place that people want to live because they can zoom in to different options or have more flexibility than ever before. It is the places where we have people at the center that everything else follows from that. Last summer, when the superintendent and I visited the Youth Summer Jobs program at the zoo, I met some young people who had come back and they were running a program for much younger kids, and they were getting paid to do the jobs as the teachers in that program. And one of the young women said to me, "Now I know I'm going to be a teacher." Right? We are looking for teachers. We are looking for doctors. We are looking to fill all the important roles so that we will continue to be the city that is growing towards the industries of the future, and it really all starts here. Other questions? Okay? Great. Okay, thank you so much, everyone.